out. It's obviously, I would say it's trailblazing the field. And it's also kind of a new, I would consider it a new line of business because in a way, you fulfill part of that supply chain for AI. You're like a data supplier, I can think of it that way. But let's say on the worker side, how do you recruit these women, or how do they come by you, and what are the initial reactions whenever they hear about your program?
So we work through partnerships at every part of the sort of the supply chain and value chain. So we work with local government units. They are our selection partners. Sometimes they also fund the training through their Gender and Development Fund. We also work with private sector partners or even grant providers. So they are the funders typically. And then even if the LGU themselves isn't funding the program, we would typically partner with an LGU because most of our partners will want to work in a specific area. So for example, sometimes partners say, look, I want to do something to help those who have been hit by a typhoon or, or other disasters. So we'll work with the local government to really select and recruit the ladies who are interested in this type of work. And our model is those who have the highest potential, but those who are most in need. So it could be women who have been displaced from their job because maybe they have a child with special needs, for example, or with this type of sickness that requires 24/7 monitoring and care. But they also need to earn because they're in a financially disadvantaged situation, having all these additional medical bills. So, we try and work closely with those local governments to select. But most of the time when we advertise this, we're not advertising it as like a job in the AI industry. It's really more of a work from home opportunity where they can learn technology so that they can, so they can earn.
That's cool. What about the kind of on the demand side? So you obviously have to engage with, I don't know, big clients or those who have a demand for these services. What's the engagement model like, and what are their reactions when they hear about your model?
So it's a really interesting model for us because a lot of the time the first person that we engage with in a company would be the CSR department or the sustainability department. And they're often the champion that really is, they believe in what we're doing and they want to help us find something that we can engage with their organization. It's harder, well, it has been harder, especially in the beginning, to go directly through the sort of the data teams, right? Nobody knows what they do or where they are or who they are a lot of the time. And, these guys have got other things on their mind. So we go through the CSR typically, and then we're often given a small project, which is, like a POC or something like that. But I'm really pleased to say that because the quality of the work that the ladies do is so high, higher than industry average, our clients tell us, that the projects, once we get in with the client on the first project, the projects tend to double and double. So, and I think that's really testament to the commitment of the ladies to do well because they've been given a chance, right?
Yeah. So in terms of kind of the day-to-day, what does it look like? Do you run them off a kind of an automated platform? Is that something that you designed for this? And in terms of the kind of the volume of work or transactions, sorry to get into that, just so, to paint kind of the picture of how much scale is able to go through Connected Women. Do you have any information that you can share?
Yeah, well, the platform, we haven't built a proprietary platform yet, although that's something that's in our future roadmap. A lot of the time clients will be using whatever platform, they're using because we work with the data team. So, at the minute, we're very flexible to working with the client's platform. But in terms of scale, we have so much supply side. We have so many job seekers. So Connected Women's wider community is 130,000 strong now. Majority here in the Philippines, some also outside. They could be Filipinos who are overseas, or they could be non-Filipinos. We have communities in Pakistan and Singapore and Vietnam, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where they've sort of they like the Connected Women model on the community side and the advocacy side. So they create chapters. But we have this strong community. It's very diverse. So the diversity of the 130 is, senior women leaders who want to do who want to participate in discussions around tech, and maybe give back to some of the less advantaged, and then really women from the grassroots. So we have a very interesting talent pool, if you want to look at the community as a talent pool. In terms of the data work, we've trained 1,000 women now. So since 2020, since we launched the pilot program at the height of the pandemic. So those are the ladies who are coming in more at the entry level and you know, working their way up. So of course, now we're looking at how can we bridge the gap between our entry-level data annotation training and data science tracks, right? Because of course that's in demand. So yeah, the scale is really, I think, pretty much unlimited, but the challenging component is being responsive to the market demands and being able to train. Like, for example, we did a lot of sentiment analysis work in the beginning. Our clients, our various clients are PLDT, Avoitis Group, you know, big players. But a lot of this work is now being looked at from the perspective of generative AI, right? Like the generic content can already be analyzed by Gen AI. So of course, we have to keep looking at the market and understanding where do we fit into the next 3 to 5 years, and not just what's happening